What is going on YouTube? It is Primitive here, and today I am bringing you the finals of the RMC locals that happened here recently. This is going to be between myself on the left playing ShineGreymon with the Lord Knightmon side, and on the right my opponent's going to be playing ChaosGallantmon. So we're going to go and see them whiff the rookie turn 1. And just hard play, Ty and Matt, putting me at 4. So I'm going to Pulsemon here. I want to get a bunch of cycle. I want to draw as much as possible. I do have the deck advantage in this matchup, I do believe. I just have to hit the cards that I need and be able to set up with probably a Lord Knightmon, so I can start dropping regular Knightmons and start shining on top of them. But of course, I do need to get some tamers for Shine to be relevant. But cycling as much as possible is going to be important. My opponent is going to put me at 4 by hard playing the Skull Marimon. I can promote here and play this TK for the 4 that I have. I want to get the TK out because I don't have any ultimates in hand, so right here I'm going to grab this Rise. This gives me the option to go into an ultimate now, and I can get into this Lord Knightmon that I have in hand, or the Shine, but I don't have any tamers to play off the Rise right now, so I'm just going to continue to cycle. I could have Digivolved on top of there, obviously, play another tamer, but I don't have it, so Turimon, put my opponent at 1, leave them as little options as possible. And then they're just going to hard play a Vilemon here, so pretty rough hand, no rookie so far, pretty much just hard play an ultimate, a champion, and a tamer, which is giving me so much opportunity to build. If you see my board, it's very threatening. I go ahead and Digivolve in a Rise, but I don't hit the tamer, so there's no effect there. But I do now threaten going into the Mega. I can potentially go into a Mega here, putting my opponent to 3, but they will go to 5 with Ty and Matt, so I was thinking about, do I want to go into a rookie, which the rookie that I have is the Patamon or the Bushiagumon, or I can just Digivolve, put my opponent at 5, and have Lord Knightmon next turn. So I didn't really want to hard play the Patamon because I don't want it to get deleted without playing it, at least for free with the Lord Knightmon, because I don't have a regular Knightmon in hand. So by Digivolving there, I do put my opponent to 5, but I do make my hand a little bit better. We're going to cut right there because my opponent did take a little bit of time, but they did just end up passing there, putting me at 3. So now my turn is starting with Lord Knightmon on board, which is really good for me. Swing, play the Patamon for free. Like I said, I don't have a lot of things that I can play. I could play the Bushi and swing, but they do have a blocker. So by playing Patamon, I get to Digivolve on top, get the second inheritable, and then I can Valderarm on top. And since I have 2 Patamon inheritables, I will gain 2 memory. So my opponent will go to 4. I'll gain 2 memory to go to 2, and then they'll gain 2 memory again from the Ty and Matt. So a little bit confusing right there, I guess, but we were just talking it out, so that's what's going on here. But my opponent will be at 4 because of the 2 memory gain, and then the 2 on my end, and then 2 memory gain on his end from the Ty and Matt. So gonna Digiburst, has the Guilmon out now, and can go into Chaos Gallant for free. Well, not for free, well, not ending his turn rather. Pop the Guilmon to gain a memory, and then think about what he wants to pop. Has 3 targets, decides to pop the Unimon because it's the blocker with the most DP, as well as it also has a Patamon underneath it. So that way you get the most value, because not only do you get rid of my best blocker, you get rid of one of my best inheritables, but still not super far ahead. The ChaosGallantmon is great, but just gonna hard play the Gazimon. I'll go to 3 with the TK. I do get my Patamons shut off now, which is a bit unfortunate. I will have to keep that in mind. It does change a couple of my plays, not being able to get any memory gain with the Patamon inheritables. The only downside to Valderarm is I can't Valderarm on top of Valderarm, so I can't really threaten to clear off anything super crazy far and wide, but I can go ahead and pop the Gazimon, and because I did pop the Gazimon now, I will get the Patamon inheritable. So I play the Starmons for essentially 2, and then Digivolve into the Unimon, putting my opponent to 1, and then they will go to 3 with the Ty and Matt. So giving my opponent as little memory as I really can, while also developing a bunch of defenses. This Valderarm will likely be safely swinging into security multiple times, and even if it does die, I do gain memory, which gives me more access. And then next turn, the Bushiagumon's coming out, so unless my opponent puts up some blockers, I can just swing for game next turn without really having too much memory loss. I can swing with the Bushi, which will pay 1 memory from the Takumi, and then obviously the blockers will pay 2, but I swing Valder, I swing Turi, and then I swing Bushi, and then I can swing one of the blockers, and I still have enough memory. But as we saw, my opponent did hit a Kari in my security, which means that my Shine is going to be a lot better, but also if they swing again, I'm going to be gaining even more memory. So very good card. I love Kari in this deck, especially when you get it for free off of security, because it really changes how your opponents have to play, because you just get free resources. So adjust the board, and I'm going to go ahead and start swinging because my opponent doesn't have any blockers in play, so I go ahead and play Kari. So now that I have 3 yellow tamers out, my ShineGreymon inheritable will activate, so my Valderarm does get to swing 2 checks there off the ShineGreymon inheritable, and then I'm able just to swing in. I know that there's not very many security checks that I have to worry about there, so it's pretty easy for me to just go to 0 memory and then start getting the swings in, because I knew that regardless of what I hit, my Valderarm was likely going to live unless I hit an Omnimon, and if I did, I still probably just had game there, because I will gain the memory back, which means I can attack with my Bushi and I can attack with my blockers. So as we're gonna see here, my opponent's gonna go first again, and once again they whiff a rookie and just play Ty and Matt. So right here we were talking about deja vu, about how pretty much the same thing just happened, putting me again, because like the exact same thing happened last game where I Digivolved and put an Unimon on top and played the Pulsemon. So we had pretty identical first turns. The second turn will change because my opponent's going to play a second Ty and Matt, so I have to keep that in mind. If I go into a level 6, my opponent's going to have an incredible amount of memory. But I just Digivolve for 2 into the Unimon, just building up the champions, getting as much champions as I can, because my hand is absolutely filled with champions. As you'll see as this game progresses, I'm very much lacking any reasonable ultimates. I know at one point I do hit the Nightmon, and as you're going to see, I have a Nightmon in hand for most of this game, but I decide not to play it because I also have Lord Knight in hand and I want to be able to use it. So right there I'm going to play Starmons to give -4, and then I swing with the Unimon to give the -1k to pop, and then I gain the memory from the attacking, and then the Unimon actually lives in the security check. So that was a very good play by me, although it was risky with swinging in, but the Unimon did live, so it ended up being really, really good for me. And now I'm pretty far ahead. I have multiple champions, multiple rookies on board. My blocker just cleared the board and got a free security check. So the best thing my opponent can really do is go into Ultimate and potentially threaten to Digiburst next turn with the Black ChaosGallantmon, and then go into ChaosGallantmon and stuff like that. So that is what we're going to see our opponent do. I decide to do this. As you're going to see, I'm going to move my cards around here because I'm going to Digivolve into Unimon again, and now I have all 4 Unimon on board. So this was pretty funny for me because I don't think I've ever gotten 4 of the same Digimon on board at the exact same time, but I have nothing but champions and 4 Unimons. Like I said, the only ultimate that I have in hand is Nightmon. I'm not feeling super pressured to have to go into it and just trying to search for some of my other ultimates, because if I play my regular Nightmon and then go into Lord Nightmon, I may not have as great of a hit from the Lord Nightmon swing. So like I said, I'm going to keep trying to dig a little bit. I'm fine with just chilling with my champions, Digivolving the Bushi there. As you see, I'm just drawing nothing really super amazing. I'm going to TK because I want to hit an ultimate in here. I go and grab the Rise. There we go. Me and my opponent were joking about how I was saying I would love to see a Rise with all these champions and just have the Nightmon in hand. So now I have an ultimate I can Digivolve into. I could potentially play a Tamer for free, and then I can go into Lord Nightmon or Shine and then just start going crazy. Like I said, I do have a Nightmon in hand, which was the reason why we're chilling on so many champions, because I wanted to preserve it for the Lord Nightmon while I'm not feeling too pressured. And my opponent's just building up blockers on the other end and the Retaliation Devimon. So even if I do go into Lord Nightmon, he can swing with the Retaliation Devi, which is going to force me to block it. If I do go into ShineGreymon, obviously I can do some pretty good work with another Tamer, but if I go into a level 6, I have to keep in mind that my opponent's going to gain 4 memory off of the Ty and Mats, so as much as going into Omega would be really good, I have to make sure that I go for game here. So I have Starmons, which gives -7,000, which just pops the Black ChaosGallantmon for free, so that's extremely high value. I'm starting to set up a really, really wide board, so I can just go for game. I go ahead and Digivolve into the Nightmon here. Instead of the Rise, I wanted to try and get a Tamer off the Rise so I could Shine, and opted to go for the Nightmon. I was pretty much playing around not playing the Nightmon as an ultimate the whole game, and it wasn't until that turn that I decided to cancel that because I just wanted to get as much offensive pressure as possible. So playing things like Bushi sounds a little more appealing than playing the Nightmon off the Lord Nightmon. My opponent's been pretty much continually threatening to go into Mega, just always having the ultimate on board. So they have the Black ChaosGallantmon. They can Digiburst to get the rookie for free, but I'm just deciding to chill with it there. Any rookies that come out are susceptible to just getting popped for free, or really anything on there is pretty much open to getting its DP reduced to 0 because I have so much DP reduction. So I'm going to go into Lord Knight here, and we're going to start making the push. I'm going to swing. I'm going to play the Knightmon to give minus 4k to the Gazimon, which allows me to gain 2 memory off the Patamon inheritables. My opponent does block the Lord Knightmon swing. My options right now are swing in for a couple checks, or I can go into Valdararm here, clear the board, and then basically set myself up to where I just guaranteed win next turn. My opponent does have 6 memory because of the 2 tie-in mats, so that gives them a lot to do, but with so much Digimon on board, with another one with raising, so many blockers, it's really slightly unsurmountable at this point. I know I have the Shine in hand, so if they start swinging some security or something, I would likely let it go through, so that way I can just use it as a resource, potentially get Tamers out and Shine, but at this point I'm so far ahead that it didn't really matter what megas I came out. The Lord Knightmon came out, did its deed with the Valdararm, but there was such a wide board from an early state that it was going to be very, very hard for my opponent to come back, especially with all the blockers. I had a lot of defensive power going in. You see my opponent trying to build up, but playing the mat, Digivolving and raising, passing turn, I swing, and then swing, Starmon swings, Patamon swings, Bushiagumon swings, and then swing with the shiny Unimon because that was just something that we were joking about. But with that being said, I did go ahead and win this local with Shine, although I didn't play much Shine in that match. Shine did very, very, very well this whole tournament, so I'm very happy. I'll continue working on this deck, but if you enjoyed, be sure to like and subscribe. I'll have a lot more Digimon content coming daily, so if that's something that you're interested, be sure to check back tomorrow, and I hope you have a great day. Peace out.